Good afternoon. My name is Kate Ritchie. I'm the State Program Director for Mothers Against Drunk Driving. I would like to welcome you all here this evening and thank you for providing us this opportunity to share our mission and our partnership with you. We are greatly appreciative of the media. You are the communicator to get our message out. So we greatly appreciate you sharing our message so that all Tennesseans know that it is not okay to drink and drive. It is not okay to be intoxicated or impaired and drive. I would like to introduce a wonderful partnership that we have today, and all these individuals will come up and share how we each play a vital role in keeping Tennesseans safe on our roadways. Through MADD's mission, which is to eliminate drunk driving, fight drugged driving, support the victims of this violent crime, and prevent underage drinking, we all share in the role to keep our highways safe. I would first like to introduce you to the Department of Safety and Homeland Security Commissioner, David Perkey.
Good evening, everyone, and it's a privilege to be here this afternoon, this evening, to attend the annual MADD banquet. 50 years ago this year, a young 7-year-old boy in East Tennessee was awakened in the middle of the night and taken to an emergency room by his mother. He, along with other members of the family, discovered that my 17-year-old brother had been killed in a car accident that night by a drunk driver. I had another older brother that spent over 30 days at the University of Tennessee Medical Center in critical care from that accident. That is an image and a night that never left me. I continue to keep my 17-year-old brother's picture on my credenza behind my desk, and I've done so over my 36-year career in state and local government to remind me of why I got into public safety. As a former state trooper, then assistant commissioner of this department for about 5.5 years, and now commissioner, there is no greater focus on the highway patrol than DUI enforcement and drug driving enforcement. The colonel is not with us tonight. He had to be in Texas, but every colonel has priorities. This colonel's priority is DUI enforcement and seatbelt enforcement, because we know from the statistics that those two items kill people every day in our state and across the nation. So the colonel has made it a priority with his command staff and the troopers behind me. And I'm always pleased to stand with these troopers as someone who wore the same uniform that they did. But the colonel's priority is to make DUI enforcement one of the main goals of the department, and that's a governor's priority also. We know that removing drunk drivers saves lives, and unfortunately, I have a personal story to tell to reinforce that. So it's my privilege to be with you today. Now, I'm also pleased to introduce one of the newest members of the leadership of the Department of Safety and Homeland Security. Vic Donahoe has been a member of the Department of Safety for almost 30 years. He started out in emergency medical services, became a state trooper, and has served in just about every division of the Highway Patrol. Recently, he was tapped to head the Tennessee Highway Safety Office that moved from TDOT to the Department of Safety. And we're thrilled to have the employees of this office and the partnership that we will garner from that move to our department. So it's my privilege to introduce my friend and my colleague, the Director of the Highway Safety Office, Vic Donahoe.
Hello. It's an honor for me to be here as well to discuss a few things with you about MADD, the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, and then provide a personal story as well. It is important for us for the Tennessee Highway Safety Office to partner with MADD as a grantee. MADD is the link, a vital link to the community that we want to reach and prevent drunk driving. About 30 years ago, my family was notified of a tragic event. That was a time when impaired driving was about 50% of all crashes. The knock on the door, when my mom answered the door, was the sheriff of the county telling her that her brother and her brother's wife and two small children had been killed by drunk driving. The children's ages were 2 and 9. We immediately went to the hospital. The drunk driver was nowhere to be found. He had 2 passengers with him. He left the scene. He left his 21-year-old nephew hanging through the windshield of this overturned truck. Left in the middle of the night. It was not until 24 hours later before the sheriff and the highway patrol was able to arrest this man. He was prosecuted by the local district attorney, Tommy Thompson of the 15th Judicial District, and sentenced at that time in 1985 to 3 years for each life that he had taken. I often say he didn't only take those 3 lives, he took my uncle's life, because my uncle never recovered from this tragedy. He died at a young age, 61 years old. So if there's any message that I can project, is that have a sober driver. The Tennessee Highway Safety Office cares about you, we care about our families, and we ask that you have a sober driver during this holiday season. Now it's my distinct honor to introduce Barry Williams of the Tennessee District Attorney General's Office to say a few words.
Thank you, sir. My name is Barry Williams, and I work with the Tennessee District Attorney General's Office. And it's my distinct honor to be able to tell you that we have put together a victims issue training course, along with our partners, MADD and the Tennessee Highway Training Patrol, and all of the officers that enforce DUI on the roads of Tennessee. This course is designed for prosecutors, DUI coordinators, and victim witness coordinators. Whenever you look at a criminal offense, DUI, in this case, vehicular homicide and vehicular assault, there are many moving parts and many different roles that people play. And the whole point of this training is to bring those people together and to let those roles work together as a team to help bring better enforcement to our roads and make them safer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner, Director. Thank you, Barry, for being here today. Tonight is about the victims. Tonight we are here to honor those who have passed, honor those that have been injured by a drunk driver, and to honor the community and the law enforcement that is there to stop this from occurring in the future. And we are privileged to have the National MADD President, Colleen Sheehy Church, here tonight to participate in our program, and I am honored to have her share her personal story with you today.
Thank you, Kate. I'm honored. I feel like I'm the low man on the totem pole here, that being surrounded by all of you that do this and do this work each and every day is far beyond what I can comprehend. We cannot do it without each and every partner that we have behind us. But I also want us to recognize that December is the National Impaired Driving Prevention Month. And it's the deadliest month of the year when it comes to fatalities and injuries. And while the holiday is supposed to be one of great joy, one of getting memories going, remembering, reminding us of the memories of the past, it is something that each one of us that have been either a victim or a survivor sometimes dread. The visual tonight is really about honoring all those that have either been killed or injured in some way, shape, or form by an impaired driver, drunk, or drugs. Myself, something many of you probably don't know, that the national president doesn't come to this position because I went to school for it. Doesn't come to this position because I took college courses to get here, an MBA or a graduate study. Part of it is because you're also a victim yourself. And we do this because we need to know the pain of the victims, the millions of victims that we honor and we support each and every day. My story actually started on a Friday evening where, as a parent, and I know a lot of parents are probably behind me, you allow your child at 18 to go out at night. And sometimes when they go out at night, it's one of those nights with the friends that say, just kind of keeps you wondering whether they should have gone out with that individual or not. In my particular case, I was the one that said yes. And my son, who was seatbelted and sober, went out with two other friends. And typically at 11 o'clock at night or later on, the kids get hungry and they go out to get something to eat. And after a late night pizza run, they got back into the vehicle. And I will tell you now that my son was seatbelted and he was sober. He got into the back seat and the two in the front seat got into the car, started that vehicle, and unfortunately started going 70 miles an hour in a 35 mile an hour zone. Dark, 2-lane highway, beautiful part of Connecticut. And what happened after that, no one really knows. In terms of the accident, unfortunately, the crash, the only thing that I ever get from the crash is the reports of the great men and women behind me that make out those reports. And my son is dead, so he can't tell me what happened. But that car went I call it like a pinball machine, off one side of the road, off another embankment, hit trees, hit signs, until it actually went airborne, 35 feet in the air, over a cliff, and landed in a river. Now I can tell you that most people, when their loved one is dying, you wish you had a long goodbye. I'm not taking away from any other illness. But when you realize that your son is in the backseat of a vehicle, desperately trying to survive, with every breath he took, he just swallowed and ingested more water. He knew he was most likely going to die, and I wasn't there. I wasn't there just to say goodbye. I wasn't there to say it's okay. I wasn't there to hold him and say it's okay to go. And that's something that I'm going to live with forever. And it was at that moment when the knock came on the door from a gentleman to tell us about the loss of our son. It changed my life forever. And we grieved, and we were eventually just drowning in grief until I found MADD. And I waited a year, and I don't know why I waited a year, but I thought I could do it on my own. And I couldn't do it on my own until I got a chance to go on to one of the support groups at MADD and found that I was surrounded by people that knew exactly what I was talking about. The victim services that, where is he? The victim services that Barry is offering today is truly something that keeps us together, truly something that keeps our families, the rest of our family and friends together. It's so important that this training continues and goes on. As I left them that night, the MADD group, I ended up volunteering, I ended up speaking, I ended up making sure that I could be on the 24-hour helpline, helping others get through a moment in their life that they will remember forever. Then I got onto the state board and the national board, and then was asked honorably to serve as a national president. And I wouldn't be anywhere else today if it wasn't for the opportunity to be able to take witness to what I see each and every day, to go across the country and talk to the millions of survivors and those that are injured and or the families of those that have passed. It's an honor for me to do this, but I have to tell you, I cannot do it without the men and women behind me that really support us. They have the boots on the ground that are here to serve us each and every day. So I thank you for allowing me to be here today. It's more of an honor on my part to be here than anything else. Thank you. Be safe when you go out these holidays. Make sure that you prepare if you're going out in the evening. And if alcohol is included in your evening, make sure that you get a designated non-drinking driver. We want to see you all home and safe with your family this holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you, Colleen. If you noticed tonight, we didn't provide you with statistics. We didn't tell you how many crashes there have been this year. What we shared with you was stories. We shared with you individuals whose lives have been impacted. Tonight, when we go into the ballroom, we're going to share more stories, and that's what we want you to remember. This is about faces, this is about families, friends, who are all impacted. It takes an entire community to eliminate drunk and drugged driving. We ask that you, again, as Colleen said, if your holiday plans include alcohol, please please have a designated driver in your plans. Thank you. This concludes our press conference, and we are now open for questions.